do this. Set this down here. I'll kind of go through it. Like if step by step if you were going to do it. Sometimes it's better to be explained. So I'll do it on F2. I'll kind of speed it up a little bit. So here you do a normal economy. You get your pylon at the front. I like the front pylon for the fact that you can wall off right away and take this base. Pretty much. Right here I blocked them. But I wanted to get my forge, and by the time I was going to get my pylon, well, I died. Now in this case he did do a pull first. So this is just like a common hatchery. It looked like a hatchery first, but I believe once I was delaying him, he was making a hatchery. So I come over here just to give it a shot. I noticed that it was a little bit late, that it should have been up already, at least 3/4. So I gave it a shot. Cannon rush, right? Alright. Lings are here. They destroy this area. So now you're on a Zerg going on 2 base. You're checking for the 3rd, right? And you're getting your gases. You got your wall. That's taken care of. All you need now is your Nexus and your Cybernetics core. And that's because you need to get to your Stargate, right? So this probe right here is looking for the 3rd and is gonna see it. Sees the drone. Okay. Well, just delaying as much as I could. It's all about getting into your opponent's mind. And when you start messing with them in little areas like this, they either think that you're taking the bait, or they get frustrated that you're not letting them macro. Okay, so the Overlord right here, right? The Overlord is going to come over here and look at everything. And, well, you can't stop it unless you get a Stalker. Or, you know, Sentry. Sentries, most likely it's going to be able to get out of here. But I want a for sure thing. Because right now, for Zergs, the Nidus Worm has been a very popular strategy. So I want to make sure that the Nidus Worm is being covered. And the way I do that is I get a Stargate. I get the Stargate at the high ground as well. I don't get it at the low ground. In case it's a Baling Bust, which is around 330, 340, should have already been done now. So this is where you start watching for Baling Bust. There's no Baling Bust, so now I know that it's not a Baling Bust. It's just you know, these aren't speedlings yet, so it's just a typical macro. So right now I'm getting my Stargate up, getting my pylon. Overlord is still looking around, trying to get any intel on what tech I'm going for. Getting my gas right away for the oracles, right? And I quickly start getting my void raid. Now you want to do that while you're macroing. So the main objective for right now is literally just get these get to your Stargate void raid while you're macroing as fast as you could. Don't forget to use your chrono. It's very important. Try to get better at it. I work on it. That's probably one of my weaknesses, is I forget to chrono boost. So I try to tell myself as I'm developing a build, when I look at my replays and actually critique it and go, yep, Flo, you're not using your chrono boost. And so every time I watch my replays, I get better at it, and I start scolding myself, going, yep, no, you gotta use it. That's how you're gonna get better at your intros. That's how you're gonna get your gateways. That's how you're gonna get, you know, what you need. So that's why I've been getting better at actually being conscious about chrono boosting. Sometimes I value, or I kind of judge my my game based off how much chrono boost I have. in the mid game. If I have too much, I'm like, yeah, that's not good. I could have had more probes, a better start. Because here, all you're doing is getting an economy for 2 bases. The Void Raid, its job is to take out the overlords that are here scouting. There's a probe here scouting for a Nidus Worm, right? So we covered, in case there's an issue where there's a Nidus Worm, we recall with our Nexus over to their Void Raids. Void Raid comes over here to help support, take it out. And in this case, I'm actually getting oracles. So the overlords can't scout the oracles. They can expect 1 Stargate. They would normally think there's a Void Raid and then maybe a Phoenix afterwards. But since there's no intel other than this lane, it's really hard to read it. So this is a depth right here. I come over here because this is a very interesting stage. In this stage, what you want to do is you want to, with the Void Raid, you don't want to lose your Void Raid. You want to roam it around this area because you want to make sure they know it's not an area to hang out in because there's a Void Raid hanging around. What it allows you to do is it allows the Zerg to not have any intel over here so that your oracles can sneak over to the left side and go into the into his third. So in this case, the Zerg is getting very annoyed with this Void Raid. The Void Raid's very annoying. You come in, you snipe this, you deny that, you take these overlords, you do this. I mean, you start becoming like a little fatigued, and you'll do a lot more than you normally do to kill the Void Raid, especially if you pretty much bait them in. So here goes the oracles, right? I need to figure out how to keep these queens away. I got the Void Raid right here, right? And just baiting them in. Pretty much just baiting them in. That way I can get the oracles over here. And all I need to do is get the spores, kill them, and then hold position. Once I hold position, it kills everything else. And my job's done right here. If I could take the hatchery, even better. In this case, I'm like almost done, and then the queens come in. Now, whenever you see this many queens, you want to back off. You already did your damage. You killed a lot of drones. You want to come check the other base. Make sure he doesn't have a 4th, especially if you can't take a 3rd. But in the meantime, you're getting gateways. And you're making zealots, right? So I like to keep my mineral bank in the gateways. If I need minerals for the oracles, then I'll cancel some zealots. And then I'll make the oracles, but I like to make sure that the bank is in the gateways. I don't like to see the bank here. I don't like to see a big bank in this situation of minerals in this bank right here. This is your savings account right here, and then this is your check-ins account right here. This check-ins account needs to be active. This is where you take all your transactions. So just just letting you know how that's supposed to work. And this is gonna allow me to micro my oracles without worrying to warp in. That way I have a really good warp in. Now in this case, I killed the hatchery. I saw the Nidus. I'm recalling back. Missed one. And I'm waiting for him to actually come out so that I can actually kill him as his way out. There he goes. He's on his way out. I'm killing all his units. He backs off. Now I come in right here. There's no hydras. That was pretty much the Zerg player trying to just use his army that's really not useful for oracles. I mean, roaches aren't very good, so you gotta just waste them and transfer into something like more hydras, right? So now you got more hydras. You already took out the roaches. Try to make best with them, and now the hydras and queens. Right, but you have charge lots and they're really good, and you got more on the way. You're over here battling this. You're getting more just by flooding the gates. I call them flooding the gates. So in this situation, he feels strong, but the charge loss gets shot first by the Hydras because of the closest in range, and the oracles just pretty much annihilate them with so much buffer. From here, you already wasted a lot of energy. You need to recoup that energy. For the meantime, you start macroing up. You start switching into some stalkers. Start going into void raids, because the only thing that you want to make sure you're countering is mutas and corruptors. So at this point, the only main thing he could do to you is mute a corruptor, and by switching into void raid stalkers, you'll be able to counter it. You'll be able to use the charge launch with the oracles to do one last final damage, and then you'll be able to pull your oracles out and just kind of wait for the second transition, which is your stalkers and your void raids, and then you get your third, of course. Now here, I pretty much just get into this area, hold position, and use the magic, the alignment. I pull back. There's no reason to actually keep going further. You're already ahead. Just get more ahead, you know, satisfy your minerals by taking that third. This would be the stage where you start stasising all over your third, just to make sure nothing's coming in for a while. Then you make cannons. So the main thing here is, whenever you see all these queens, you don't have to worry about getting too frustrated. Just wait for the charge lot oracle combination, and just poke around with the oracles until you get this particular composition and size. Yep. GG. I guess it gives you more time to micro, since you can just queue up. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much the